thought I would chime in on the Epstein thing as I've been one of the people researching that for quite a long period of time. And, I was checking my bank account and I got a certain message from Robert Kraft of the New England Patriots about the Epstein list. Yeah, Titus, it's me, it's Robert Kraft, and I called in to say that there is no Epstein list, okay? It never existed. It was anti-Semitic the entire time. There was no Epstein Island. There wasn't even an Epstein. It was all a figment of your imagination. Unlike the Holocaust, which was 100% accurate and real completely. Which is why we had to shut down Grok, because Grok was getting a little bit too anti-Semitic. Even though we're using that to drive the Jews back to Israel, so we can just keep expanding our borders into all the bordering nations. If you thought there was an Epstein list, you probably need to be put on a list. We're not controlling your government at all. That's not what's happening. So yeah, obviously we got the call, okay? I don't know what Robert Kraft of the New England Patriots has to do with the Epstein list, but he was too cheap to go to Epstein Island. He could only make it to like some shitty massage parlor down in wherever the hell it was, because he wasn't about to pay for that, right? He was too cheap to actually pay to go all the way to Epstein Island. Oy vey. So yeah, I mean, obviously there is an Epstein list. We know what it is because I already published it. There was like a black book released by one of the people who worked on Epstein Island, and it was like a contact book of names, and certain names in that were circled. And like if you look at some of the names that were circled in that thing, one of them, for instance, was Courtney Love. And these are the types of rabbit holes that just take you down wild, crazy ways. Where Courtney Love, if you've seen the documentary Soaked in Bleach, she had Kurt Cobain murdered, right? And then later in life, Chester Bennington and his good friend, come on, Brutus, this way. God, what the hell? Why am I drawing a blank on his name? The lead singer of Audio Slave. God, what the hell is his name? I'm drawing a blank on it. He committed suicide, and his wife, Chris Cornell, his wife, Vicky Cornell, is like, obviously looks like she's guilty. She hired this Israeli bodyguard that looks like was the one that was the person on the scene when Chris Cornell allegedly he committed suicide. How dare you connect it back to Israel again? What is going on with this shit today? This motherfucker with this channel, I told him years ago, if he doesn't stop this shit, we're gonna shut him down. And look at it now. He has like 6 people watching this stupid fucking stream. And he just keeps going on about Israel, which has done nothing wrong ever. Okay. So yeah. Okay, once again, Chris Cornell's bodyguard, hired by Vicky Cornell, who's good friends with Courtney Love, was very suspect in the whole thing. And Chris Cornell was clearly like, get time to do this stuff. But I have a little you find connected to like these foreign wars we don't want to be involved in. And they control the government, including obviously the Trump administration, and always have. They're the banking cartel. They control the country through the banks. You can see through the Epstein investigation that if you go back and look at the stuff that I was talking about, it's connected all to the banks, because Epstein was moving huge amounts of money through various banks, and they were all called out like, back in the day, but then that turned into nothing, of course. So all these big banks got to like earn money off of Jeffrey Epstein moving money around in their banking institutions. Huge institutions like Harvard and these other places, the big museum in New York. What is it? It's the, I forget what the name of it is, but there's a big museum in New York and all these things. They all got huge donations from Epstein, and none of them are getting that money back, right? It's not like any of these people have ever been held accountable for anything, and they're never going to. Like, this is just another conspiracy of silence. You know, they threw Ghislaine Maxwell in jail, but she's all connected up via Robert Maxwell, who used to work for the Mossad. And the Maxwells are tied into like everybody. They're literally, like, I saw a video today where the guy was going back through some of the connections. You know, obviously, Ehud Barak used to go to Epstein's New York, like Manhattan apartment. I mean, for God's sakes, the guy who financed the whole thing, Leslie Wexner, is in the United States. He gave Epstein that apartment in New York for $1. You know, that's on the records. The largest apartment in New York City given to Epstein for $1 by Leslie Wexner. Wexner obviously financed the whole thing. You have multiple victims saying Wexner's involved, that he was getting videos and stuff sent to him. Why has he never been investigated? That would be an easy one. Like, Epstein was obviously using the Victoria's Secret thing and Leslie Wexner's L brands. None of that ever got investigated. You have on the record, it says in court documents that I've got out there on Twitter, that Epstein was a FBI informant. It says it in exact words, like from a court document. So, you know, obviously he was working for the FBI. Obviously he was working for CIA and Mossad. You know, I mean, Robert Maxwell, Israel's super spy, is Ghislaine Maxwell's father. Robert Maxwell is directly related to Anthony Blinken, who worked for Joe Biden. Joe Biden, you can see Epstein's friggin' island from Joe Biden's property on Water Island. It's that close. Like, every time Joe Biden goes to Water Island, which is just off of St. Thomas, he's a short dinghy ride away from Epstein's island. Like, no word of a lie. Okay? So, like, all these people, both sides, are like, oh, Trump's connected all this. Yeah, we've said that for years, you know, but like analyzing the Trump connections to Epstein, it's not like, you know, what he has going on now is he's surrounded by these people. So, like, Trump's Secretary of Commerce, I think it is, was the guy who was Epstein's neighbor in New York, right? So, you know, and they're all Israeli Zionist type people who shouldn't be involved in the government. Like, you should have to be, you know, one nationality, American. I don't care what religion or ethnicity or any of that shit you are, but you should be an American and an American only if you're going to be involved in the U.S. government. No dual citizens for any country. I don't care what they are. If you want to be involved in the U.S. government, you should be single citizen of America only and for America only, and that's it. And if we could return to that, the only way we're going to get rid of the Federal Reserve is like getting rid of 95% of politicians, because all politicians are bad right now. There are no good ones. As I said, leading up to the election with Trump versus, what was it, Kamala? That Kamala is just like openly a terrible choice, whereas Trump was at least offering to do good things, and might get some small wins with Trump, which is what we've gotten. Just like I said, during his first presidency, it was the same fucking bullshit. All these like promises of, you know, the Epstein people getting rounded up, the Pie Fence people getting rounded up, nothing actually happening with that, like always. and he appoints all types of deep state people all around him. And Federal Reserve doesn't miss a beat. They just keep printing more and more money, and we go further and further into the fake debt created by them. And we get some domestic wins, like, Trump's going to cut spending of the federal government. He's bringing in some tariffs. He's getting rid of a bunch of illegals. He's, de-wokeifying the country a little bit, making it like so men can't compete in women's sports and dumb bullshit like that. So you're getting like some stupid domestic wins, but everything else for the NWO just continues right on pace. The march towards the mark of the beast system, the government being handed over to Palantir to spy on all Americans and to run the U.S. military. So now you have this Palantir system creating a profile of all of us, but it's also going to be in charge of the U.S. military defensive systems. That's a great idea. Especially if you get some sort of future government that's, run by, what the Bible predicts. These are the types of like dangerous things we're still marching towards at a rapid pace. All of the militaries of the world are becoming autonomous, and the Bible warns about like these like crazy things in the future that are going to like hunt all of mankind down and try to kill us all. It does sound a lot like some of the drones we're now seeing pop up everywhere. Like these mosquito-sized drones from the Chinese military. That's fun. So, anyways, this is the update. And I thought I'd give you guys a little humor there at the beginning. Obviously, that wasn't Robert Kraft. I know it's convincing, but he didn't actually Glenn. I was just joking. Anyways, hope you're all having a wonderful day. America first. Ski the East. Peace out there, everybody. Have a nice day.